What is up, good people? Jungle Link here. Hope you're doing well. January 1st this year, it sure seemed like we had the perfect setup for cryptocurrencies, and a lot has happened. It's been a very productive year, but those prices just didn't get up quite to where we're looking for. Not yet, at least. But let's hope we get a strong end to this year, get that quote unquote Santa rally, and set up a really strong 2026. Because I mean, we could jump up there really quick. It doesn't take much time in cryptocurrencies once we get rolling, and it sure seems like we're getting there. We just got to work through the doldrums here a little bit, and hopefully, on to bigger and better things next year. Now, this is an interesting post. David Schwartz just revealed why he's running a massive XRP Ledger hub. I'll tell you this. Yes, Ripple lost, a key executive there. But I think if we were going to vote and say, do we want him focusing strictly on the XRP Ledger or Ripple the business? Personally, myself, I want him running infrastructure, building stuff for the Ledger. I think that's where he belongs anyway, and where he will be the most productive. So he's not stepping away at all. He's just kind of graduating to a different role, really his original role, one of the main developers of this technology. David Schwartz broke his silence on why he's operating a high-performance XRP Ledger MEGAHUB. It's not what people expected. Hands-on, Schwartz says he hasn't been running infra for years. Now he wants direct control again as he transitions from CTO in 2025. And again, people think that David is hands-on. He hasn't been for a long time. He's been kind of like this guide, right? Kind of guiding where this goes, but he hasn't been in there in the day-to-day, and now he's going to be back to running infra for the XRP Ledger. Network upgrade push. His hub is engineered to reduce latency, network diameter, improving how fast data propagates across the ecosystem. So this isn't a regular hub, right? This is a high-performance hub. Diagnosing bottlenecks. He investigates localized performance issues across the network using his own hub as our real-time diagnostic tool. He promises zero disruptive testing without major justification. Not really sure what he plans to do there, but I'm sure it'll be for the best of the network. And lastly, Schwartz says he's not leaving the space, just what I said, just shifting roles. He's still coding, researching, and building for the technology that he loves. And make no mistake, there are a lot of people at the beginning. Arthur Britto, I believe, contributed the DEX. That was something he was working on before Ripple. Jed McCaleb was a visionary, wanted crypto without the mining. Without him, we probably wouldn't be here. But XRP Ledger, it is David Schwartz. He built this sucker. He was the main architect, and it's good to see him getting back to what he does best, building the future. Now, for those of you that are interested in link to, there was a great Spaces by John Deaton today. I suggest you go over and check it out, listen to it. It sounds like this is going to be wrapped up in pretty short order. For bankruptcies, if it's done by January, man, that's going to be killer. Of course, you have optionality. Do you want to close and fund, or do you want to hold your shares kind of like you have with Link2 in a similar kind of way by a custodian, and you get liquidity events? It seems like the best of both worlds here. Whichever way you want to choose, you won't be forced, it sounds like, to go away you don't. And so go read that, but things seem to be making progress. Now, of course, there will be some loss there, it sounds like, to pay for attorney fees and all this other stuff, but at least it's not a total wipe. And you should get most of your money back, or most of your shares, more importantly, because a lot of that stuff has gone up. Now, I posted this today. If you remember, it was on 8/6/2024. I reached out to Monica Long. I'm like, hey, I heard the XRP Ledger Foundation, well, it's going under. It's going away. And she told me, well, you know what? We're working on something new and a more sustainable foundation for the future. And kind of at the time, I'm like, what does that mean? Well, I'm telling you, from what I'm seeing here, everyone involved is really delivering on that vision that she laid out there on 8/6/24. And this right now is really comprised of Ripple, the biggest builder and biggest investor in this space. You have XRP Ledger Comms, which is really education and training. The Zhao DAO, of course, which is how we get involved in the XRP Ledger. And then XRPL Labs, the biggest builder in this space, outside of Ripple. And so that's really the pillars of this new foundation. So I put up here, you know what? I would like to hear from them, because I think this is something that they really need to put out there and advertise, because we hear all the time, well, Ripple controls everything. Like, they're working really hard to make this the most decentralized blockchain in the world here, and for good reason, because that helps Ripple too, because it makes XRP that much more valuable. And this is where they want to take it, and they're working very hard in delivering on that promise. And so Vet said, you know what? They're definitely going to do that. Perhaps once the XRP Ledger Foundation fully launches. So again, they're kind of getting to that point. It hasn't quite hit full takeoff yet, but this is the perfect setup. But again, it allows everyone to have a voice and to participate. And it's not just going to be Ripple handling stuff as we go forward. It's all of your stakeholders here have representation, and that's exciting. And so hopefully we hear from them as soon as they can talk to us. Great post here by BD. He says, XRP is surging in silence. And that's kind of the deal here. The price ain't surging, but something's going on here in the background. New Wisdom Tree data shows global institutions are quietly accumulating XRP while others ignore the altcoin. And, they know where this is going. Follow the big money, follow the smart money. Europe poured 549 million into XRP. Non-US markets added 252 million. So like normal, right? Overseas is kind of where you're seeing a lot of this investment flow in. US synthetic flows hit 241 million. Meanwhile, what have we seen from Bitcoin and Ethereum? Well, we're seeing outflows. Utility, institutional demand, the narrative is shifting. Now, I expect Bitcoin and Ethereum to pivot, to start seeing significant inflows, and we want that. There's a whole space. We want money flowing into crypto. You don't want Bitcoin and Ethereum going down. Best believe that. But this isn't nothing. This isn't meaningless. There's a reason for this where you have XRP ETF seeing major inflows. And right now, even though it's a downtime for Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think what it tells us is when the market turns, there's going to be even more money flowing into XRP. It's going to get really serious, but people are positioning ahead of that event. Really exciting. Right now, Ledger has their holiday special going on right now. If you need a new hardware wallet, now is the time. The Ledger Stacks, their flagship model, you buy that, you get $80 in free Bitcoin. The Ledger Flex, which I think is the best deal if you want one of the bigger screens here. That's the one that I use, $249. And you get $70 in Bitcoin back. And listen, if you don't like Bitcoin, you don't want to keep Bitcoin, trade it for XRP, Flare, or whatever crypto you like. It's still $70 back. Great deal. And lastly, the Ledger Nano X, that's what I used before. It's 50% off right now. Great deal. Same security as all of them. Just comes down to the usability and if you want the bigger screen. Great deals. Link down below if you want to help out the channel. Get yourself a wallet, use the affiliate link, you help the channel, and you keep your crypto secured. I think it's really important here. Now, the next story. Franklin Templeton, they manage trillions of dollars here. And what they just said about XRP within a diversified digital portfolio. So someone looking to seriously invest in this space, not just like play around, not play favorites. Like if you want to be a serious investor in cryptocurrencies, they view XRP as foundational, a foundational building block. And that's the way these people are going to look at this. They're not going to play favorites. Oh, Bitcoin's the only thing or the greatest thing. They don't care. They want returns. And with that, XRP is going to be part of that diversified portfolio, you best believe. And that's going to be a lot of money flowing in. Money flowing from investors we have never tapped into in the past. Crypto Eddie saying it was big news that XRP and RLUSD stablecoin were added as collateral to join Bitcoin and Ethereum on Bitnomial. So we see Bitnomial has become the first exchange regulated by the CFTC to allow cryptocurrencies to be accepted as margin collateral. Right now, again, we got Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and RLUSD. Just shows you, where we stand in the grand scheme of things here. Now, we see from Matt Hogan, he says the following: U.S. equity market is at $68 trillion right now. Currently, we have 670 million in tokenized stocks, so a very small percentage of that. SEC Chair Paul Atkins says all U.S. markets will be on chain within the next 2 years. This will be built out with a lot of different systems, some centralized, some decentralized, but they all kind of link up together. Pay attention to those ones that are going to be strong in RWAs. And you know what I say? XRP Ledger is the original DeFi and RWA blockchain. They're not jumping on the hot topic. They have been built from day one for this moment, and I think they will capture some of that market, a significant part of it. I expect the XRP Ledger, even bigger than payments, really is this connecting hub for trading of all sorts of value, from fiat currencies to cryptos to stocks and bonds and other securities. I think it's going to be a big vector of growth for this blockchain. Now, a lot of people are worried here. President Trump's new national security agenda mentions AI, biotech, and quantum, but doesn't talk about crypto or blockchain. This is what I say. How much of the president's net worth right now is in crypto? Like, crypto's part of the plans of this administration. Yeah, best believe. I wouldn't make too much of that. I haven't looked into it, but kind of makes sense. Again, national security, AI, biotech, quantum. But I will say, blockchain is part of national security as well, making sure we're a leader in the future of money and that the dollar continues its status. That's why they love stable coins. We're able to zip those into territories all over the world. It's important. It just might not have been in this particular agenda that was put out. But his personal agenda, the president and this administration, everyone in the administration has tons of money in crypto. It's a main focal point. Best believe it. Salmon Wallet here, the biggest wallet on the XRP Ledger, saying the following: we just shipped one of the biggest accessibility upgrades the XRP Ledger has seen. Salmon 4.6.1 added advanced language support across the app, making XRP available in more than 6 billion people speaking all different languages. And this is what we want: a more global XRP Ledger. It starts here. We want everyone to be able to use these tools effectively. In a lot of these markets overseas, that's where you see individuals really adopting this technology. That's where most of them do. And a lot of that comes from stable coins as well. Great time to get this infrastructure out. I think it's going to onboard a lot of people here. Now, the Fed is getting ready to deliver its final rate cut of 2025. Now, we're hearing it's divided right now because inflation's high. It's 2.8, higher than that arbitrary 2% they would like it to be in. I would like a lot of things. It ain't going to happen. But the labor market's weak. They have to defend that labor market for sure. A quarter point cut is expected. So expect that, the third in a row. But also expect Powell to kind of job on a little bit. Hey, don't expect any more stuff like this. Look, they can't actually tighten monetary policy right now. They have to continue defending the labor market. So they're going to keep cutting rates. And so the only thing they can do is really talk. They can talk to try to slow things down. That's about it. There's not much else they can do. Plus, Powell's going to be out of there. You're going to see a wave of new regional Fed presidents, looming Supreme Court rulings. They're going to, whether good or not, whether you agree with it or not, they are going to be driving that interest rate down and making very loose monetary policy. And whether that's smart, it's going to be good for cryptocurrencies and specifically altcoins, in my opinion. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.